The Red Kingdom Media crew is here talking about all the latest Chiefs news. Tom Brady talked about the Chiefs' three-peat chances. Will Butker cause an incident at the White House? PFF might have underrated Pacheco. And Andy Reid commented on the gauntlet of a schedule ahead. This is Gridiron Gambit.
Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Let's work. Hey.
Welcome to this edition of Gridiron Gambit. I am your host for tonight's festivities, Clinton, and joined with me are my two pals, Dale and Lonnie. How are you guys doing?
I'm hot. I'm tired. Went outside just to go take some pictures for the wife, and then I would just drink some sweat, bro. I'm hot right now.
Not so much hot here in Kansas City. We just getting over the storm. I'm working from home, but a whole lot of people just getting over the power being out. So Clint, I know, was down for a minute and came back up. Luckily, my brother's back up. Looks like back up and running. So, yeah, we doing good. I'm doing good, living good right now.
Yeah, was out power for nearly 24 hours, but thankfully I didn't have it as bad as I saw some other people. FRG got some people in their feels by possible 3 days of work to get back to power. I would not have been a happy camper if it had started to reach that amount of time. But yes, very fortunate that was able to kind of get back up right when I needed to do stuff. And, I got a down internet line in my backyard, but it ain't stopping me from being here and talking. So we'll see how fast they get out here to work on that. But shout out to all the linemen out there. You're doing the Lord's work right there. It's a thankless job, and we just appreciate all you're doing, especially working out in those harsh conditions in the hot weather. But we got some stuff to talk about here. We got some interesting Chiefs topics that we're going to be discussing today. And the first topic that we are going to be talking about is Chiefs chances. So we got Tom Brady, on Memorial Day, when most people be chilling at home, Tom Brady is appearing on Fox Sports talking about the Chiefs, because what else is he going to do in his retirement? I know he's a Fox employee now, but, he still lives rent-free in Tom Brady's mind. So, he mentioned there's a chance that the Chiefs could three-peat, but he's cautiously optimistic. And as our thumbnail states, he's doesn't give us, the biggest chance that size. But he said it would be a big challenge for sure. And then I don't think any of us would disagree with that sentiment. It's something that's never been done in the NFL before, and let alone last year, the Chiefs winning back-to-back, something that hasn't happened since Tom Brady in 20 years before that. So
Right.
The NFL has obviously changed, and it's not meant to have continuous repeat champions. And has it been teased even since the mid-90s Cowboys, and they were a year in between to break up that routine. But the Chiefs, they're obviously working towards it. The chants at the parade were all about three-peating, so they knew back-to-back was kind of sketchy, so they didn't really do that last time. But they're on the three-peat wagon for sure. They're living that mantra. We know they have got a tough schedule ahead, and the sporadic, game days that they have, and that'll be towards the end of the show we got today. But based on what Tom Brady said and the fact that he doesn't give us the greatest chance to pull the three-peat off, Dale, we'll start with you. What percentage would you give the Chiefs chances to getting this done?
100%. No, I'm not gonna be delusional like that, y'all. Nah, honestly, I'm really at the 50% mark, just because like we know that it's gonna be a hard task to do. But I do think that the team that we built this year, right as of now in the offseason, I do think is gonna be better than what we had last year. Now I do know we have some notable, losses that we had within the offseason with Jerry Sneed, Willie Gay leaving as well. But offensively, I mean, we didn't have anything that really affected us at all. I mean, no offense, but Marquez Valdez-Scantling, he came through in the playoffs and he made a couple of plays. But with the guys that we got in now, like Hollywood Brown and also Xavier Worthy, they're going to be able to do this in the regular season and also going into the postseason. So I think just adding that type of firepower onto the offense, that's going to actually help us out going into this season. The reason why I think Tom Brady is, not as optimistic or feel like there is small chances that this can happen, because his team wasn't able to do it. And I don't think it's any envy, but to be honest, that was probably the best dynasty we saw up until he left, and then of course Bill Belichick leaving as well too. I mean, they did have consistent two-peats. They did have a time to where they won multiple Super Bowls in a row. So it's like he looking at it to the point to where, like, in this day and age now, where I feel like he thinks that the game has evolved, and in a way we do have a lot of elite athletes as well too. Eventually people are not gonna, they're gonna go hard with the Chiefs. Anytime they play them, they're gonna play their best. We might have moments that we had last year as well too, but I do think that Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, Chris Jones, all those leaders, they're looking at this season as this could be the one, because they already cemented their legacy as of now, winning 3 Super Bowls together. That we already have the talks of the dynasty being established now. They have a chance to where they can do what every other franchise has not done before, is go ahead and do a three-peat. That way, we're at the mantle of something that we're by ourselves. You can never erase us at all. You can hate us, you can dislike us, but you can never say this franchise has did anything that someone else hasn't done as well too. And he's afraid of that because he's the GOAT. He has 7 championships. I wasn't able to do that. I am the ultimate winner. I am the ultimate leader. I put my heart out there. Honestly, I lost my family because of this. I don't want anyone to outdo me. But I'm sorry, Tom. Patrick is going to outdo you. And it's okay. He came from this type of lifestyle. His I understand. I'm not gonna say Patrick Mahomes here was the greatest pitcher of all time. He's definitely not that. But when you're in a locker room with those type of players, of the Derek Jeters, the Alec Rodriguez, all of those guys who won multiple championships, know how to be leaders in the locker room, know how to elevate other guys around them. You take that in when you're a sponge when you're younger. Tom, you wasn't as athletic when you came out of Michigan. Honestly, I don't know how much of a football fan or how much you played in those later days. And that don't mean anything though. But he has all the tools. He has it all. He has the athleticism. He has the arm. He has the IQ. He has the rings now. He has the MVP awards. All pros. He's doing that at 28. He'll be 29 by the time the season starts, in his 8th season. You didn't almost play 20. He did this in 8. That's why he's worried. And I think he still has that competitive, nature in him as well too, where it's like, man, you're gonna make me really come out of retirement because I gotta hold on to something. He's stingy. That's why he's salty. But it's cool. But I respect him because he retired as well. Of course, hated him when he played. Always have love for Tom. You're gonna be at the GOAT status for a while. But if Mahomes do that, he's gonna have a three-peat and he's gonna have 4 Super Bowls. That means he's gonna be tied with Joe Montana already. He's gonna be already sitting at number 2 in year 8. That's a lot to worry about. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah, and I just think Tom Brady is feeding the lion here, putting a steak out for the lion, dropping some chicken in the lion's den, whatever you want to call it. He's just kind of enticing them here, giving them some Michael Jordan or Brady type bulletin board material. I give the Chiefs about 45% chance to three-peat too. I think they can do it. We do have things we need to figure out though, offensively and defensively. We're not going to sit here and act like there aren't question marks at certain positions. Now we did lose L'Jarius Sneed, so we do know that we have enough corners to cover there, but we kind of don't know how we're going to supplement for that job. And then we also did lose guys to the likes of Jet McKinnon and just different guys on the offense. So you got to like MBS and different guys like that. So you have to learn how to supplement their losses as well too. And I just people haven't clicked with Mahomes always either. And we haven't seen the Hollywood Brown in live action with live bullets with pads on. Now we've heard about it running routes on air against nobody, and it looks great. We know that, but we have to see it live when people are hitting each other and the bullets are really live and they're all coming. So I just want to. I'm not super confident in it yet because I haven't seen it before, but it's going to be a change. So I think with that change, it's going to help them get advantage on their opponents. They're not seeing the same offense that they just were seeing last year whatsoever. These are two totally different offenses. I think it's got a ton more explosive. The middle of the field will be a lot more wide open for Travis Kelce to do a lot more work now that he has a ton of field stretchers. So it'll be different. The team will look different. But I don't want to say that they're automatically, yes, they're just going to go back in three-peat because that's the homer in me thinking, yes, nobody can beat them. Being super confident, not on the podcast, but I'm trying to be realistic here. And yes, I give them about a 45% chance to three-peat. And I just think Tom Brady is just throwing it out there, telling Mahomes, come get it. Show me that you want it. Because I'm the one that's going to be commentating your games now. And if you think that I'm going to try and put you over or put you over me, you better think again. So be up to the challenge. So I think that's what he's doing. So that's it.
Okay. Well, anybody who followed us last season knows that I wasn't that very confident in our ability to win the Super Bowl, let alone make it to the Super Bowl with the way the offense was playing, and thought the defense couldn't hold them together. And it seems like this offseason, yes, they lost two of their main starters on defense, but they have decided that the offense is where all of the firepower should go, and they've been reloading that. We will have to see if the beginning of the season ends up being a detriment and kind of hindering the chances. But initially, my thoughts would be the same as last year, or even in Super Bowl 57 against Eagles, and say like a 33% chance, maybe. But if there was a team, if there was a quarterback and a coach that you would have that confidence towards, it would be Patrick and Andy. And that pairing, like, except for not having an offensive line and having enough time to throw the ball in a Super Bowl, they've managed to get it done. So I think just for the fact of who we have, I'm upping it to 60%. And that's probably a little generous. But if there was going to be any team, especially in this 2020s era, to get the job done and officially get the three-peat, I mean, who else would it be? We just saw Bill Belichick get fired from a team that won, 6 Super Bowls? And that's not enough history to keep your job if you have 2 bad seasons and lose your franchise quarterback. Andy knows the value of Patrick Mahomes. And so all they're doing is feeding the pillars around Patrick. They gave Chris Jones his extension to make sure that he stays hungry and dominant and satisfied for the next several seasons. They make sure Travis Kelce is back and he's well compensated for his efforts. And they saw the kind of diminished return for their wide receiver core, and got a Hollywood Brown as that insurance policy. And so if there was going to be a team to do it, I think this is it. And this should have happened, decades before this. And with the salary cap era, it seemed almost implausible. But they've gone to show the blueprint that if you have the best quarterback and an innovative and team-friendly head coach, and you build around those and feed those two guys what they like in terms of roster buildup, I give them a really good chance. We saw a bunch of other teams in the NFL get worse or have to kind of bite the bullet and sit on the salary cap casualties. Buffalo is one of them. The Bengals right now don't have either of their wide receiver weapons in camp, so that's not a good start. I think the biggest obstacle for the Chiefs is going to be on the NFC side, and you've got several teams, namely San Francisco, who are going to come out trying to slay the dragon, and it will remain to be seen whether they can actually get it done. They're definitely going to be hungrier, but the history shows how hard it is to make the Super Bowl, period, let alone make the Super Bowl after you lost the Super Bowl the prior season. And that is not a good indicator. So the Chiefs are on a warpath right now, and they got lucky last year by going against their script on how they like to win games. And this season, they went right back to their tried and true methods. And I am very excited to see how training camp shapes up, see if it starts translating into regular games, and going from there. But I do agree that Tom Brady might just be talking a little bit out of envy because it took him a while and he had the defensive team around him to get the job done. And it took him, 8-10 plus years into the league before he started getting talked out as one of the best quarterbacks, where Patrick was starting in his second season, first actual starting season, and got thrown into that category immediately. So I think the talent levels are a little skewed in that regard. And I'm just excited to see what the rest of Patrick's career looks like, because he knows he's hunting for Brady, and Brady knows that he's hunted for as well.
All right.
Exactly. And why don't I think you just say, Clinton, you should just start your topic off by saying, why don't you take your analysis and stick it where the sun don't shine, Mr. Brady? Because I'm a super homer, and I just went 60% over me and Dale's 50 and 45%. I just think Clinton is just sharing the same sentiment. I think you, like you said, I think they're back to the team that you love. So I think that's why you're feeling that way. So, but yeah, go ahead, Dale. I'm sorry. That's what I just wanted to say.
But along with that, when you was talking about coaching, with you have an innovative and team friendly coach along with one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but they do have a three-headed monster, and I really think that they found the structure of what you should have in an organization. And I shout out the Chiefs front office with that, because after the removal of Bob Sutton, Andy Reid was very key on bringing in Steve Spagnuolo, and bringing him in when you have a guy that you can rely on, where you know that you're more of an offensive minded coach and you're the head coach at that. I want the other guy who handled the other side of the ball to basically be someone who's a head coach as well too, and I don't have to go over there and do anything. Of course, being the head coach, I'm going to go over there, have to do my due diligence, build that relationship, build that rapport and everything like that, because you see that he loved Chris Jones. But when it comes into the scheme and how the game is played, that's all up to Spags. And when you can rely on a guy to do that on the other side, I think that makes it better for your organization, even if you have a defensive-minded head coach. I'll say this for DeMeco Ryans over there in Houston. You need to find your offensive coordinator that can go ahead, that he's going to find the perfect scheme, the perfect setup for my boy CJ Stroud. And once you have that going and they have their system running over there, that will bring a lot of a lot of accomplishments and success over to that organization. Now, you're not going to probably be able to beat the team all the time who has started this trend. And of course, with us being ahead right now with, the experience and also the chemistry, we have that already built right there. So, it's going to be times where you have to find your way in when it may not be the best year for the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think what we're all saying right here, right now, we know what the Patriots dynasty was like. But we see this team within this era who has actually unlocked the key into what you're supposed to do within this generation of football that we're handling right now. The game has shifted to offense. Andy Reid being on that trend for a long time. He's gonna have the ups on everybody already. So while y'all trying to catch up and was depending on a good running back play and also having a great defense, no, you gotta find a guy who can go out there, throw it in weird angles. He does stuff that's untimely. That's why he's winning. Because the thing is, when he's on time, they're gonna play great. And typically, Reid, he's gonna put his quarterback in position. But when you have somebody who want to throw a no-look pass, who wants to try to do a backward pass in the game, we're going to see if he actually pull that off. It's like, what can I do? Because the league is showing you that, hey, defensively, you can't do as much. So, Brady, I think that's why you hate this Will too. You wish you was in this era of football where the offense was great. You probably would have slimmed down and be like, "Hey, I could do all this." It's okay, bro. It's all right. You set the stage for everyone. It's all right. It's good.
And Dale, I want to add to that because the league is very much offensive driven, regardless. And we praise Spags and praise Andy, and they're older. I don't want to insult them in any way,
right.
but they are older, so therefore they're more experienced. So therefore, there's not that demand to bring them away from the current situation. I think we all think D'Amico Ryans is a good head coach. And let's say they do have that offensive coordinator that really shines. He's going to be gone the following season to be a head coach somewhere else.
True.
And the Bills are a testament to that. They have their defensive coach and Sean McDermott. Brian Dable made Josh Allen look like MVP caliber, and then he got hired on for the New York Giants. True. So that's just how the NFL works. If you want an offensive coach, he's got to be your head coach, because otherwise, if you start showing some sparks and you got a defensive minded head coach, that coordinator is getting swooped up and you're starting from scratch again. And this Chiefs team is experienced all the way through, and it's going to be tough. You got to have lightning strike twice to manage to get through that. So, but we're excited for how the season turns out. We're going to stay optimistic and assume that they get the job done. But moving on to our next topic, Butker versus Biden. So the Chiefs are visiting the White House this Friday to celebrate their Super Bowl 58 victory. And with Butker's previous polarizing comments and his firm stances around them, basically coming out and saying that he stands by everything that he said and doesn't regret anything that happened to him. Lonnie, we'll start with you this time. Do you think there will be any drama around Harrison Butker when they do appear at the White House?
So I don't think it'll be any drama around Mr. Butker when they appear at the White House. I think they'll make a point to take a lot of pictures of them shaking hands and showing the interaction between him and President Biden. Again, I think this was an opinion that's kind of just a lot of situations kind of just been dragged out. Like I said, we just kind of are taking the light away from what we should be having the light on, which is football. But I think this is just the world that we live in now. This is kind of what Mr. Butker has to live with now that he's made these type of comments. Anytime you bring up that religion, it usually falls in somewhere politics may start to fall in there. So now you kind of just operating in the realm you just kind of don't want to be in. But unfortunately, you put yourself in this situation. And I mean, I think if the team is handling it well, Travis, I think Kelsey and Mahomes, everybody's handling it well. So I don't think it'll be a problem. I don't think it should be a problem. I think we should just, like I said, keep everything the main thing. Harrison Butker is a all-time one of the best kickers in the NFL right now. If not the best kicker in the NFL. It's arguable. So he said some really, 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 really polarizing things, some things that shook the world up. And this is his opinion, and he stands by it. Which you should want every man to stand in their beliefs, stand in their truth. So if that's how he feels, that's how he feels. And I don't think President Biden is gonna take any offense to that, because like we were all saying, this is his opinion. He knows everybody has an opinion. So however you feel is how you feel. You're here to see the White House and celebrate you winning the championship. So I don't think it'll be a problem at all.
Yeah, I think I could keep mine short and simple. I might. I don't know. I'm not going to say nothing crucial here at all, but they should be perfectly fine. At the end of the day, Biden is a politician. He has dealt with worse. He didn't heard worse things about him. He didn't heard people scrutinize his family, dealt with all that with his kids. He's not worried about Booker comments about him probably being like a fake Catholic or whatever it is, and talking about, his political views. That's something that he used to already, and being scrutinized, and someone who's been on this earth for a long time. I think he didn't see it all. All it is when it comes to that point, I think Butker is not that type of gentleman where he's going to bring his anger and bring his feelings into the White House and try to do anything and try to be disrespectful towards Biden. I'm sure if Biden was to walk up and shake his hand, he's going to keep it like that. And then as long as everything is positive, that's fine. They're supposed to enjoy the day there. This is an opportunity, regardless of what president is in the office. I think you want to be able to go around a historical monument, a facility where, when you're the world leader over here in, America, whatever, not trying to get all political like that, but that's something that you want to actually be a part of, right? So, seeing that and you just enjoying that moment, I think he's going to be more focused on this. And Lonnie, going back to what you're talking about, where you say you see why they take the light off of it right now. Now, you remember when they told people to just shut up and just, play the game? When they said that, I'm not going to take away. It was probably some people who said it in a weird way. Now, for me, if I'm saying it, this is why. Because this is a game y'all don't want to play. And that's why some people become politicians. I'm going to be honest. Just like we tell people, hey, you don't want to go out there and play football, you talk stuff and get tackled. I'm be honest. Once you say something, they got to hear that all the time, because they be talking to the world. So anything that they say, they're criticized and they're used to it. When you're not used to that, your whole world turned upside down. So sometimes I think that's why when certain individuals say, it's like, hey, bro, it's just more of like, I don't know if you're prepared for what's going to come behind that and being able and defend yourself 24/7. Because when you in those situations like that, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be on social media all day arguing with everybody. I'm going to end up just deleting it because you worried about too much. So I think when it comes to this, but Butker has said it already, he's fine with standing on what his beliefs. He's standing on business. That's why he came back and said, I have no regrets. I don't care what you're talking about. It was a shocking amount of hate. Great. You'll never see me. Probably never have my money. Bye-bye. It's cool. Like, just move on about your day like that. But yeah, I was kind of flirting around and stuff. I was chilling. I was very careful. So don't worry. But yeah, it's just with this situation, I can't wait till September come, because once kickoff happened, everything's gonna be out the window and everybody's gonna be focused on will we three-peat, and that's it.
Until he misses a kick. But go ahead, Clint.
That's true. Yeah, he'll become a big storyline again if he starts getting the yips and
he going perfect this year. He ain't going for that. He's like, nah, y'all ain't about to do that to me.
We'll still maybe have to be looking out for those random PAT misses. Those were
True.
random misses on his part. But if you're looking for a 60-plus yarder, Butker's your guy. I don't think this is going to be much of an issue. Obviously, the media and stuff is going to talk about it like it's a World War III or something. But you can have people together who don't agree with each other and they could still be cordial. Everybody amongst the NFL, you guys mentioned it, Travis, Patrick, Andy, even Roger Goodell, they all had the same thing to say about Harrison Butker, that this is what makes America great, is that you can have all these people gathered in one locker room from different walks of life who believe and talk about different things that are important to them. And you still come together for a common goal, which is winning the Super Bowl. And, obviously politics could be a lot more like that, but, that's wishful thinking, and that's for another podcast of another kind. I think it's a non-issue. The media will make it out to be, but Harrison will think nothing of it. It's a business trip. In his speech, he said some not so kind things about Joe Biden, but he also didn't seem very happy with how Donald Trump was either. And we have to remember that the Chiefs did not have the opportunity to go to the White House during the last of Donald Trump's reign because of the pandemic. So it wasn't a decision of whether or not they would go. The option wasn't there because they ultimately everything shut down and never came to fruition. So maybe that would have been a completely different thing if that visit had occurred, and then we have that storyline. Oh, he saw both. How did he react to both of them? Does he have a favorite, or blah blah blah? I don't think it matters. It's going to be Joe's talking about how great the team is, and maybe Andy will speak, maybe Patrick will speak. We saw last year that Travis tried to sneak some words in, and Patrick was very, very dismissive of that and played the substitute teacher for the field trip that they were on. But I think Harrison will be on his best behavior, just as everybody else will. They know the significance of it. They understand the cultural impact it makes to be seen next to the president, showing that you're having had that impact on the world and America in particular. So I don't think this becomes an issue. And I know I made a big deal out of it by putting a versus for for the two of them as a topic, but me, I'm just there for the quick puns and the storylines. But I don't think it's a real issue.
If Booker tries to start a brawl, I'm gonna be crying. I'm gonna be laughing. Like it'd be like, you're banned from the White House anytime. If you're with the Chiefs neighborhood, you're banned, bro. If you have a brawl, I promise you, I will get on here on live and talk about that. We're gonna break down the video if that happens. If it comes out, we're gonna have a breakdown.
the assault of an old man on television. Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, he's not gonna play this season at all.
No.
Matt Amendola, where you at?
I think some on an NFL roster, if I remember correctly. So
yeah, I think that's true. I think he got picked up.
Tobe will have to be looking at some practice squads trying to find a miracle, just like he found in Butker.
Probably go get destroying. He might be healthy and ready to go after his injury.
Hey, you want to talk about polarizing? That would be one.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I think we're all in agreement. This is kind of a non-issue. Butker had his day in the spotlight, and he doubled down on his thoughts, as we assumed that he would. And I don't think it really matters when the visit happens, and they're not going to get politics involved. It's a business trip, like I said. So I think that's all we've got for this one. So before we move on, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. If you're listening to us on Spotify, give us 5 stars and let us know you're listening over there and you like your audio podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribing and liking our videos. If this is interesting to you, we also make sure that we post some shorter versions of our podcast afterwards for the individual clips for the topics. So if you're listening to the whole thing and you liked any of the other topics that we've discussed or talked about after this and you want to listen to or send those off directly, we'll have those videos come out towards later into this week. And also, if you prefer to consume your Chiefs content through writing, we've also got our daily Substack that we put out Monday through Friday. You get that straight to your inbox for free. If you like your updates of ours and get to read all the different Chiefs and NFL news that you've got over the course of the day, make sure to subscribe to that, put in your email address for our newsletters, and be on the lookout because we've got also our paid subscribers. We put out some paid articles twice a month. We'll definitely be up in that towards the season when we have more NFL coverage to be breaking down. But, not a whole lot going on. There's some days a lot of news starts piling in, and other times we're kind of picking and choosing and reaching for straws on what we can talk about. But if you like reading your Chiefs coverage, make sure to check out our Substack. And with that being said, let's move on to our third topic of the evening, which is Pacheco Mid-Tier? ? So running back Isiah Pacheco was listed on PFF's top running backs list for 2024 as number 15. Lonnie, we'll start with you. Do you think this is a reasonable ranking?
Yeah, I love it because you're just gonna make a pit bull. You ever seen a pit bull with their mouth foaming? That's Isiah Pacheco. I'm not gonna say it's like an accurate rating, but I'm not gonna say he's just like with the Saquon Barkleys and the McCaffreys of the world. We know Pacheco, and we love Pacheco for his running style, not necessarily his running ability. So like his breakaway speed or his being able to press the gap or his being able to stop and start. We love him for the way that he runs, the tenacity that he runs with, the mentality that he pops up with and runs back to the huddle with. We love him for the things that he do. We love him for the things that he does, not necessarily the ability to be a all-around great back as far as PFF standards. However, I do think Pacheco will be among the top 10 backs this year. I do want to go ahead and make that hot take just as of right now. I know he's probably at 15, but I feel like after this year, this is a guy that has won 2 Super Bowls. You have to be mindful that it's very far and few between for any running back at that position now. So being that he had the ability to do that one as a rookie and then come back and win another one in his second year, I think he's going to definitely separate himself from the rest of the pack. So I think this is his year that he does that. Being in the Andy Reid system, he won't have a ton of miles on his body. He's going to be well ingratiated into the offense, but he's going to be rotated out well. So I think it's a reasonable position as of now. But I think his position will get better, and he will find himself in that top 10 to top 5 range.
Now, according to PFF, he's 15. I'm looking at the scores of as well too. Like I'm looking at other outlets. A lot of them have him in the top 10. So PFF, we always known that they grade things weirdly. They can subtract your grade for certain stuff that may not have impacted the play, or they feel like was their personal opinion of why. So it can be questionable. I'm looking at the top 10 people that's ahead of him right now. Only person I got a problem with is Devon A-Chain. He just literally flashed last year, like if I'm not mistaken. Pacheco, he came in and literally took a grown man job. I was in the range of 10 to 15 anyway. But Lonnie, like you saying, honestly, after this year, depending on how he goes, because he needs to go over that 1,000-yard mark. And it's not really that you have a few, depending on the type of offices that they run within their system, that it's like, okay, you expect like a Derrick Henry or so to go ahead and go for 1,000 yards plus, because they may not have a great of a quarterback, or they may not have great of an arm. So they kind of play within the system of wanting to run the ball a lot. So you can understand them getting up there due to their yardage and their usage. That's fine. Pacheco is in a system to where it's very pass heavy, regardless of how garbage our receivers are. We don't care. We're going to throw the ball. That's what we want to do. And he has to deal with that. So he had to be more of an overall well-rounded running back, where you have to do it outside the backfield, catching the ball in a flats, running in between the chains, in between the tackles, doing it, everything like that. So I feel like his workload, it proves that honestly he can move up to the top 8 in my opinion. But the running back position is always interchangeable, because I'm sorry, everybody, that position is just not as valuable anymore. It's not. And to be honest, really, you see that we are stretching for topics because we really don't like to always talk about the running back position like that. No disrespect to the running backs. It's not nothing like that. But, we're in a position right now where it is great arguments to the point to why it's, not as valued due to the fact of it being a passing league. So, when it comes to that, the conversation, it's like, yeah, the reason why we talk about Christian McCaffrey a lot is because his ability to where he can go out there, line up and slot. If they wanted to, he probably could line up on the outside as well too, run a route, really route up the guy that he's going against and really do something with it. He can do everything. And the same with Saquon as well. He has that ability, but he was injured. He dealt with injuries that pushed him back. Pacheco, he dealt with some this year, but it was because he was a workhorse. Like, you're going to be that type of guy who's ran down. But I do applaud Andy Reid for trying to keep him, in good health. He tried to utilize his other running backs like Jet McKinnon when available, and also Clyde when he was out there as well too. He don't want to work you in, but when it needs to be a drive that, we have to go down there and score, they do have Pacheco out there. So Chiefs Kingdom, Chiefs fans, he's probably going to always be between that 10 and 15, because they're going to see him as a guy like where when he gets the ball, like you just said, he runs very angry. He gets yardage. But then they're going to have the conversation, oh, let's go ahead and look at his yardage. Oh, let's go ahead and look at his uses of carries, because what do they judge a running back based off of? Running the ball and getting this amount of yards. That's what's going to affect him in some sense, along with whatever he has receiving and going with that. But at the end of the day, it's not the worst. I mean, as long as he wasn't in the bottom 20, like 20 to 30, I'm fine with that. Pacheco proved that he's someone who should be respected and someone that you would actually want to be on your team 4 years ago.
All right, and I'm gonna be the homerist of all of us again, because there should be no reason that Isaiah Pacheco is ranked anything less than his jersey number in terms of running backs in the NFL. Yes, last year he did not get 1,000 rushing yards, but let us not forget the scheme that he plays under and how valuable you need to be as a pass catching running back and as a blocking running back in Andy Reid's scheme. So if we're going off of scrimmage yards, he got 1,000 yards last season, and his first season he got nearly there, and he wasn't full-time starting his first season until quite a while. And last year, he only missed 3 games because of injury or choice. And the last game of the season, when he possibly could have gotten that 1,000 yards, he was resting because Andy Reid saw the value in Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco is the perfect running back for Andy Reid's scheme. He's the perfect running back that fits this Chiefs offense. We saw Kareem Hunt as that blueprint of the type of running back that we need. We need a bruising running back who will just beat up guys, the Derrick Henry type of running back that nobody wants to tackle. Miami Dolphins in the cold weather game was not trying to tackle Isaiah Pacheco that day, and he almost single-handedly won that game for the Chiefs. And there were several games all last season where him and the defense were the sole reason why they won. So there are other outlets who properly ranked him at least 10, but other than some notable names that you've mentioned or that are on the list because of who they are by name alone, yes, running back is not as valuable, but the right kind of running back in the right offenses is still very valuable. Isaiah Pacheco is 2 for 2 on being in the NFL and winning Super Bowls. How much better could you possibly do? How much more can you showcase your abilities and your talent by becoming the starter in year one and winning back-to-back Super Bowls and trying to win the third? As a running back, when you know that position can be swapped out at any given moment, move on to the next guy who's flashing now, who's the next hyped up name. So I think it's ridiculous. Isaiah has shown himself to be a dominant force, and the fact that he is not properly rated is going to put a chip on his shoulder. And just like we mentioned in the first segment about Tom Brady slighting Patrick, and that'll fuel the fire in him to get the job done. This should cause nothing but rage and passion to flow out of Isaiah Pacheco to say, screw you guys and what you say. I'm going to show you why I am a top 10 running back in the NFL, and my numbers don't have to showcase that. You put the film on and you watch me play, and you tell me who else you watch that performs as well as I do. So I don't think Pacheco is mid-tier. I do not think that he is only 15. I think on any given night, he could be upwards of the top 5 running back in the NFL. And I think at 10 is a proper rating for him at the very least.
And I just wanted to add on to that. Being that he has those 2 Super Bowls and is 2 for 2, I feel like being that if he stays healthy, barring any major injury, Pacheco will get paid. He's going to get paid. It will not be by the Chiefs. Let me just go ahead and say that now.
Right.
It will not be by the Kansas City Chiefs. He will get paid.
What are you guessing for this contract?
No, I'm not saying. I'm not going to guess any numbers because the market sucks.
I just want to see how bold we were.
The market sucks, but I'm just saying he's going to get a second contract. Some guys are not even privy to a second contract, especially how the running back market is working now. A lot of teams would rather take their shots on a rookie coming out of the draft than give a guy a second contract. But I'm for sure Pacheco will get a second long-term deal with the team if he can stay healthy. Barring any major injury, he's going to be due for another contract because no other running back has done what Pacheco has done and has featured in the offense to the likes of Pacheco. And Dale, like he did last year. Like Clinton said, he did feature in the offense last year, heavy.
And before you pop in, Dale, let it be said that the Chiefs also did not decide to sign or draft a younger running back, and yet just bring back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who the team has accepted is a backup running back in this role because of Isaiah Pacheco, who did in fact take Clyde Edwards-Helaire's job. So the Chiefs decided not to invest in the position anymore, at least for the next 2 seasons, because they see the value in Isaiah Pacheco.
I wouldn't either, because what they're about to say is they're about to try to scheme him. Why don't y'all want to listen to me? Let's just take the Super Bowls and rings away, because this is what they're going to say. Boy, you had Patrick Mahomes. Shut up. You did great, though. You did great. And I would definitely love you to have on the system. Pop, I'm your boy. I love you because for real, I love the ferociousness and how you run and everything like that. I just want you to be ready, have your rage agents ready. Brett gonna come with some bull first, just let you know. So go ahead, hear what they talking, because if they ain't talking that much more than the Chiefs, just stay with us, bro. Stack up that bread, stack up these rings. That's all I'm saying. Because really, I could be more homer than y'all and say top 5 if I really wanted to. If I really wanted to use a ring argument as well, too. But, when we come into this game, people are very particular and be like, we got to do individual stacks. Okay, I get it. Yes. Honestly, you can be great because you might be the only talented person on the team that can make something happen, and you get the most touches. If I'm lying, I'm dying, because it happens in the NBA as well, too. You can average 40 if you Kobe shooting over 50, 60 shots a game. and nobody else on the team is great. Pacheco, he had to work in the confines of like, hey, I got this great receiver over here. Patrick Mahomes pretty much can do anything godly when it comes to it, and he's in that mode. You have the best tight end in the league, and Travis Kelce. Like, he's playing with a lot of that. And how I'll be coming at it, it'd be more of, I feel like what these other teams is going to come at with him and try to use as excuses, because at the end of the day, it's a business. How can I not pay you as much money? And that's why a lot of people don't want to come to Kansas City when they're on a 1-year deal. Because if you have all this talent around you, I need to prove to them that I can average 1,300 to 1,400 yards receiving, or I can have 1,000 to 1,100 yards on the ground. Because they're going to be like, hey, I need that type of talent over here. I'm going to go all in on you because I am thirsty to win a Super Bowl.
And this is where I think that Pacheco comes into the year, and we can get off of it because this is probably talking about future stuff, but he comes to this year with the challenge. We know Pacheco is not that great as a receiving back, but I think what separates him and like we said, what separates the McCaffreys, what separates the Saquon Barkleys is their catching ability. If he could come in and have an anomaly year where he gets about 500 to 1,000 receiving yards, if possible, or even up to about 300, like show that you have the ability to come out of the backfield and catch the ball. I feel like his market value is only going up from here, is what I think me and Clinton are trying to say. So
300 to 400 receiving with like 1,000. It's like, hey, bro, yeah, because he totaled that with 15 because I'm playing on a passing offense as well too. So pretty much that 1,500 that you use to those running backs who playing in those systems, doing it like, hey, I'm making it up in a receiving game as well. If you want to throw the ball.
Let me finish on 2 positive notes about Pacheco and why I'm not worried about him. He's 25 years old, so he's older prospect because Clyde Edwards-Helaire is literally younger than him, and we know that he was here 2 years prior to him. But Kansas City Chiefs fans will know the great name of Jamal Charles and about why he should be in the Hall of Fame. And the reason for that is the statistics of nearly 5 yards a carry. Do you know Isaiah Pacheco, the last 2 seasons, is averaging 4.9 and 4.6 yards per carry? So bring up his carries, and he reaches 1,000 yards. And he ups that average even more because Isaiah Pacheco does not go down on first contact. It takes 3 or 4 or 5th contact when he finally hits the ground. So those stats alone should be an indicator that Isaiah Pacheco is built different.
And he missed 3 games too, right?
That is correct.
You play 16, bro. You're getting it. You're getting it because he was at 800 something, if I don't believe, like 3 or 4 weeks before. And if you average it around 50 to 60 yards, you would have got there. So, I'm not taking away. It's just more. I'm just not taking away nothing from you at all. Honestly, what they're saying, Pacheco, I'm on their side. Just saying what I think other people who try to go after you when the time comes, what they're trying to utilize against them.
What the legal say? Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yep. Let's move on to our final topic, which is every day but Tuesday. So we've already looked at the schedule. We were already there that almost full 2 hours after the schedule released, and we were going through giving our initial thoughts about what we saw the final record being and how that shakes out. And we brought up the anomaly that the Chiefs basically play every other day of the week besides Tuesday, and that includes a random Black Friday game, a random Christmas on a Wednesday, and a random Saturday game as well. And we know that Monday and Thursday and Sunday are regular games for when NFL games take place. But Tuesday is the only game that didn't happen. But Andy Reid addressed the wild schedule that's ahead of him and for his team. And he commented that they can give us a Tuesday game if they want. So even Andy Reid is well aware of the situation and the sporadic game days. So Dale, will they affect the Chiefs' chances of making history?
Nah, Nah, we're not even going to even stay on this for too long. Nah, I think when you're an athlete like that, who's playing, especially professionally, you really want to play as much as you can. You know, they're even trying to figure out a way to have like an 18 game season and then have 2 bye weeks because players want to play that much. Now, I mean, well, let's say this: the league want to make more money, but the players is more on like, hey, if you give us an extra bye week, we would definitely do that. I mean, when you see the leagues like NBA and of course MLB, of course the physical nature of the game is way different than NFL football. But when you have the chance to play more games, people are more excited about it. And then at that, you have better chances of trying to get to the Super Bowl as well too. You got to think about a lot of teams who was like, man, maybe if we had an extra week or so, maybe we could have probably pulled this off. That's why they want to do something like that. But I think what Andy Reid is saying in this point is where it's like, I don't care what they tell us. They're telling us in the head of the time, we're going to be prepared to go out there and play the game. I don't care if they want to do it on a Tuesday. As long as the league makes it make sense, though, you know what I'm saying? Like Monday, we know that you're not probably going to play Thursday or Thursdays or Sunday, right? You're going to play that Monday. That Tuesday game, to me, if they was to do it, it would have to be like after that Christmas on Wednesday to make sense. To if you just that thirsty to doing something, you shouldn't be that thirsty though. You know what I mean? Like it's fine, but it would have to make sense, right? So I don't know what they consider the proper timing of how many games you should be off into the next game. But we know some teams dealt with that situation before in previous years where they had like this, especially with adding these new games on here, like with the Black Friday. Oh, they probably had a lesser, rest week. We're used to the Monday and then going to the next week on Sunday because you got a whole week. It's all right. You're the last game of the week anyway. Monday, take the day off the next day. Then we got Wednesday through Saturday, and then you'll be prepared for next week by then anyway. But it's just I think it may affect preparation. That could be the issue. But it's not going to do nothing to us. I don't think this weird schedule will mean anything. It just adds more fuel to the fire. And it's going to be more reasons we have to be when we become the greatest team in the NFL. Oh, they went through all these obstacles. We can have that. I'm more on the side of like, hey, let's take something and use that as fuel to like be like, hey, I can use this to boast when we actually accomplish our goals. But nah, they fine with it. I think as an athlete, you're happy to play more games when you can, and as long as it's in the confines of well, we're not playing more games that we're supposed to, it's okay. Just make the schedule make sense and give us enough time to get prepared, and that's it.
Yeah, so I don't share those same sentiments as Dale. I don't think they're happy with it. I actually think they're being sarcastic. I think they hate it. No one wants to have to go to work on a different day of the week, every single week.
We
Everybody
do.
wants I'm saying everybody wants to have a set schedule. If you're in the NFL making millions of dollars, who doesn't want to know?
So,
Okay, I got to show up on Sunday. I'm going to play on Sunday. Cool.
well,
All right, now it's this week.
I'm
I'm
a
playing
chill.
on. Yeah, everybody wants. You want to have a set schedule. I know as a player making millions of dollars, they want to know where they're going to be at, know where to be at, what they want to be able to be with their families, not all on these random different days, having to send your kids wherever on weekdays, and then it's a whole bunch of different stuff. It's regular people like us that are working, that are probably around them, helping them, but they're not working. they're they're superstars. They're doing other stuff now. So I think they were being very sarcastic. I do believe, like Dale said, it is becoming fuel to the fire for the Chiefs, because it's just another form of adversity that you have to deal with if you want to make it that during the season. No other team has had to endure what the Chiefs are about to go through. This is borderline ridiculous. Like we could have at least scheduled give them a couple Sunday games there. Like give them some normalcy. Like this is not even it's non-normal. I understand that they are the biggest team in the NFL, but you just don't see this done to teams. These are a lot of short weeks, just like randomly short weeks. It's not like going from Thursday to Sunday. Now you're going from Wednesday to Sunday some days, and then some days you may be going from Monday to. It's just like, oh my God, give me some normalcy and some consistency here. But when you are the biggest thing and you are the biggest spectacle that your sport has, this is the type of stuff that you have to endure. So I think the Chiefs are just going to use it as fuel to the fire, as they should. So I think this comment from Andy Reid really came off as sarcasm, and he's coaching the boys up like he should be. So use it as fuel to the fire. Obviously, they don't want you guys to three-peat. So use it as that. Use it to go dominate in every game. Let this be the reason.
You're right about that. The NFL flat out came out and said, yeah, we're definitely making it harder on the Chiefs to win this year, aren't they? And as soon as the schedule dropped, they were making those comments. I think I lie somewhere in the middle of you guys. I do think that Andy Reid and the team is not quite, pleased with how their schedule looks to be. I know Andy Reid likes certain routines. I know he would probably prefer the bye week to be a little later towards the end of the season, or at least towards the middle of the season. And Travis Kelce on New Heights basically said that as well, that week 6 is very early for a bye week for them. And they usually like to have that as a resetting period to know what's to come. But they're going to be playing a game from the end of October through whenever their season ends, and we always hope that it goes through February and they're holding the trophy at the end. But the Chiefs have their number, have their work cut out for them this season, and I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. I don't think it's going to ruin their chances just because they have to play on Christmas on a Wednesday and had to play the Saturday before that or anything like that. But I do think that it does throw a wrench into Andy Reid's routines that he likes to do for him and his team. But I think the team, like any other time, is up for the challenge. They're not going to back down. They're not going to complain and say things are not going well or use that as an excuse to why they didn't get the job done if they end up not. They're going to come out and be confident that they can win every game and can win what's ahead of them, because what other choice do they have? This is the schedule. This is what they were dealt, and they'll take it as a challenge, and they will be ready to come in game after game to defeat the competition and hopefully hold that Lombardi up at the end of the season. So I don't think it changes anything, and I think ultimately this season and how the Chiefs do might also be an indicator for the NFL on how they want to continue to move their schedules. They added Christmas Day and Christmas Eve games, and now there's Black Friday games, and the NFL is just experimenting with different days and holidays and things like that they're trying to use just to up the ratings. Yep, up the ratings and up their revenues. And it's going to work. And what better team to do that strategy on than your back-to-back Super Bowl champions? And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, like for real, like that does make sense. Use them, and who knows, they probably looking like, let's go ahead and use the best team, because when it comes down to it, this team, regardless of what it is, they may be better than you on their worst day. So it might not affect them as much. I know that can be a stretch, but at the same time, like, I'm so optimistic all the time, it doesn't make sense. But it's like, do it if you want to. Because now, once the Chiefs do it, the NFL gonna be like, I don't care what y'all talking about. Y'all need to know how to learn how to manage y'all team. Because we're talking about a small market team out of Kansas City, Missouri, who wasn't doing anything, who was known for their owner helping with the merger and coining the term Super Bowl, and only having one Super Bowl at that time. They're able to go through 50 years of being trash. We throw everything at them. You see spit come out my mouth because I'm that serious. Hey, we're going to have to cut that. Yeah, it's not being cut. Forget it. Hey, but still, they probably looking like, look, man, like, if the Chiefs can do it and everything that they endured, you teams who have these billion-dollar corporations has, this much cash space and all that, y'all can work through it. Y'all can be able to do it. This is a team who is graded F-. for a training facility. Y'all got 8+ facilities, and y'all still not touching the Kansas City Chiefs. It's crazy. Like, that's why I'm saying Reid, we can say he probably being sarcastic, but it's like we done dealt with so much. This ain't nothing, bro. We get to play more football. So you saying I can cook people on every day of the week now, and I'm missing out on Tuesday? Give me that day too, because I'm the GOAT coach, and that's it.
Love it. Well, you definitely can't say that we're not a passionate bunch. We love our team, and we love talking about things that maybe even some other people would be too afraid to talk about and think they would be canceled for. But we tell it like it is. We tell our honest opinion. We're very passionate about what we believe, and you gotta love it. Some perspiration comes out. It's all in good fun. It's all for the love of the game and everything. But I'm excited. This season's going to be challenging, both in games played and on our end, trying to cover all those games in various days of the week and stuff like that, and trying to keep track. And it's like, oh, nope, remember guys, this is a Thursday. Nope, this is a Monday, and just trying to remember all those details. But we're up for the challenge, just like I know the Chiefs are, and we just can't wait to get started.
I have to put in my time for Black Friday too, because I'm not missing that game.
I was
We
just
gotta be
thinking about
there.
it, like, oh my goodness.
I'm gonna go ahead and just be like, hey, I'm not gonna even be here on Black Friday. They know once the Chiefs play on the day and it's during the day. Yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. We're gonna have to use that PTO.
Hey, look, you can't ever say that we don't care about this team and we don't care about giving you guys the best coverage possible, because we're going to jump through any and all hoops it takes to cover every single Chiefs game. So if there's a Chiefs game and you're watching, you know that we are going to be there in some fashion, giving you our coverage, breaking down that game, being there beginning, before the game and after the game, giving you all our opinions and everything in between. And we're just excited. We're optimistic that the Chiefs are going to get this three-peat finalized. They're going to do something that the NFL has never seen before, because the NFL has never seen a pair like Patrick and Andy. And as long as that pair is here in Kansas City and is as dominant as they are, as we're seeing red, the NFL's seeing green, and that's all it is to it. So thank you all for joining us on this edition of Gridiron Gambit. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. And as always, let's go Chiefs!
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom